here to understand all the stakeholders, like the staff, which is teaching, non-teaching, parents, students, HM, Teach for India, community center, and funding, is to create a sense of purpose among each other, so that they have a clarity about their responsibilities, about the way they can contribute to the bigger role, which is the school transformation, the change we want to bring about. So we need each stakeholder to play a very important role, a substantial role. At the same time, they need to have a sense of clarity about what they're doing and why they're doing it. So I broke down school transformation into different segments of what I thought was right. One, there's visual transformation. Basically, it is how it looks, how the school looks. It could be in terms of discipline, it could be in terms of BMC, it could be in terms of behavior among the kids, in terms of how they conduct themselves, it could be how the kids wear their uniforms, it could be how activities are being held in the school. That goes on to visual transformation, which you can see and you can immediately understand the visual changes. Then we have the emotional transformation. This is the main root cause or the main driving factor of the whole school transformation. The reason we want transformation is because we want to change. That cannot happen through someone else's extra intervention. It has to happen through own motivation. I think that can be driven only by emotional stimulants. So we need to have an emotional connect with the parents, HM, principal, all the stakeholders on an emotional connect. We need to connect to them on an emotional level. That's how we feel. Is school just a learning space, or is school an extension of my family? Is school an extension of a learning space for me? Is school another home for me? That is the kind of emotion I would look at if I'm talking about emotional transformation. Social transformation. Now when you have these two transformations, there's another sort of acknowledgement that the school receives in the community, in the city level, among its own people. Jaise ki if you have a kid going to Gujarati medium, the fact that someone looks at the changes happening in the English medium and they want to shift their kid from writing in Gujarati medium to an English medium could be a social transformation. It could lead to access and exposure. So that is the way we could incorporate multiple elements into this. Teaching, non-teaching ho gaya. Then we have changes. How would I plan it? So there are two plans. One is a short-term plan and another is a long-term plan. Because I don't know the reality, like how I said in the first picture, I need to get a real picture to make some initial plans. So I didn't want to get into detailings about timelines and activities because I think it's futile if I don't get an idea of all the stakeholders. It would be only a fellow's perspective, which is a small cluster here. So that is why I didn't dwell into the finaries of the dates. But if I have to normally put an agenda on it, one, I would plan for a yearly thing, which is the end of my fellowship, which is a short-term plan. I would break down quarterly wise. So first quarter, I would basically concentrate on PTM, where I interact with parents. We go on regular home visits. We get to know their agenda. We get to know their interests. We get to see what they're expecting out of the kid and what they expect from teachers, and we can pass on our common understanding to teachers. This is basically an idea where we stress up structures. School team meeting. School team meeting could happen at TFL level or non-TFL level. Ideally, if you're looking at school transformation, we have to have a team meeting with non-TFL members and non-teaching staff as well, because we're on the same page, and that emotional content is what drives us. Again, emotional transformation. Infrastructure development. In my school particularly, if I were to talk about personal transformation, it could be safe drinking water, it could be banning of chips, it could be some other source where we could actually change their mental approach to the whole idea of how we look at school. Field trips would come into us in exposure, which is where again I would draw back funding, where we need external affairs, given our low income community that we are from, we would need funding. So funding is something which you need to take into consideration in your planning for school transformation. Quarter 2, SMC. Now school meeting committee is a committee which comprises of parents, teachers and the local community members. So the reason why this is so important is if you want to have a sustainable impact of a transformed school, you can't do it at the school level, it has to happen at a micro level, which is community level. We need fundraising. Fundraising, we need to start it off so that we have initial funds for any changes that has to be done at school level, or if you want to plan any activities further on. Vision setting. Now this is one very important because everyone has to have a common idea or a common understanding of where we want to be at the end of a year or end of a certain period which we planned for. Quarter 3, we would plan for a community center and sports days. Ideally, now with all the investment we have from PTMs after regular home visits, school team meets, and you have a bond between the teaching and non-teaching staff, and TFI and non-TFI as well. You have school planning meet where you have a parents who are holding themselves responsible also. We can completely move on to community center, where we can target people who are not able to reach out to school, or you want to give them a continuation of excellent education. Continuation of school. For people who drop out of school, for people who are 80% dropout in my area, in my community. So to build on skill development, we could use community center as a place to leverage so that we can shift them from a auto driver profession per se to white collar profession. So this changes their approach to things and this changes their prioritization of education in their lives as well. Sports day, sports I definitely feel is a very important part of childhood. So it helps them focus on confidence building, teamwork, sportsmanship, other parameters. So it has to be taken into consideration starting of the year. And then we have school level events, which is a culmination of all the three efforts. So you could look at inter-level school fairs, intra-level school fairs, depending on the kind of infrastructure that we put in and the development we put in. The actions could be broken down into their this particular clusters, and because of the sense of purpose, we can get into the detailing very much. And I wouldn't want to assume a lot of parameters, so this is my plan for 1 year short-term plan. Long-term plan. So long-term plan, what we're looking at is 7 years. 7 years because the youngest class in my school with the TFI is 3rd standard. So 7 years we are looking at them passing out 10th standard, and 7 years is quite some time for us to set in some standards, set in some methods and procedures where the school is self-sufficient and self-driven. So first, we would like to have technology in the classroom. We would like to have technology a very big part of our classroom because we are a community which is denied or devoid of awareness and exposure. So the only way is to give them technology. If a field trip is not a possibility due to the money constraints, technology is one way of getting them information at their fingertips. Playground and sports. Again, like I said, playground is a very important part of the kids to run, to walk, to fall. It teaches them multiple parameters. So playground is something we definitely want to look at. Exposure to the outside world. Like again, it goes back to the exposure element. A lot of us get back to the same profession of our parents because of lack of choice. That could be because of lack of options or lack of exposure or not wanting to try something different in the fear of taking up risks. Mental confidence. We have 80% dropout. Like I said, we're looking at shifting them from normal low-income jobs to a white-collar jobs so that to change their mental ideas. Again, I'm not dwelling much onto the individual time frame as such. These are my points. The reason I kept it so plain is because the 17ers who come in will have their own points again. So again, there will be some dynamic process. When each parameter comes, I don't know how much of it is actually going to stay back. So this is the parameter I am looking at on a long-term basis. And how I want to gauge it would depend on the kind of people invested in it. So that is my idea of school transformation.
इस शहर को क्या हो गया है, जहाँ देखो चिप्स, जहाँ देखो प्लास्टिक कवर्स, हवा और महंगाई दोनों बढ़ता जा रहा है एंड बच्चे इसी को खा रहे हैं. Which brings me to the next point. Health and hygiene, 2 or 3 ideas or strategies that you would create awareness among this puzzle piece at city level. This is something I connect to very personally. My community, we have kids who do not bring lunch boxes. They rely on chips packet as a daily lunch. For the last 7 months, I've seen literally almost every kid in the school resorts to chips as their lunch. So there could be multiple reasons for it. Let's not get into the reasons. But if we had to make some changes, what would it be?
Cool.
So this is an event. This is a visual activity we did in Extreme, and then I did it for my first PTM as well. So I get in the garbage can after the lunch break into the classroom. I ask the parents to look at the lunch dustbin and tell me what they observe. Generally, gandagi ki baat hota hai. It talks about hygiene. It talks about it not being healthy. And I ask them, this is what the kid has been happening. This is what the kid has been eating for the last 6 months or 1 year on a daily basis. So the parents generally are kind of taken back in spite of knowing the fact. But when you make them feel that way, they kind of connect to it in a much more personal level as to ये मैं बच्चे को क्या दे रहा हूँ करके. Secondly, this is something I follow in my class. I ban chips in the class. So for the last 1.5 months, my class has been a chips-free class. The junk food is not allowed, so kids are mandated to get box lunches from home. For kids who cannot get in their own lunch boxes, I advise them to get in fruits. I sometimes carry bananas every day, so they can eat some bananas as well. And any money they get to buy chips, we can collect it in a jar and give it them to the end of the month also. This could be a money-saving entity also. Secondly, if a kid misses to get his lunch box and if he's broke, I would expect him or her to reach out to someone else's friend, and the friend generally share their food with the student, and the next day this student is expected to get food for the person who offered them food. So इस तरह से we can build in a very nice relationship in the culture, a good culture within the class, and it creates a very kind of interdependency in the class, and this could be taken off into the culture as well, into the community levels. Midday meals. This I would want to talk about Ideal School in Pune, जहाँ पे हमारा ट्रेनिंग हुआ था. So there was a mother who cooked meal every day and got in lunchbox for all the fellows. So I would want to copy that method in my community. Given fees is a concern, given my money is a concern, I would like to look into parents with low source of income. I would like to ask them if they could cook in breakfast, give them the basic amenities, and जो पैसा इनसे मिलता है, we could divert that to fees so that they have both of us benefit from the same thing. Midday meal from a private sponsor or something. This could lead to multiple things, which again could go back to funding, where we can either fund ourselves or look into sponsors who can help us get in meals so we can have a healthy meal, because it is a well-known fact that the food you eat offers influences the kind of thinking you do. And if it's about vessels, if the vessels are concerned, we could ask the kids to get in their own lunch boxes, so we can take into that also in consideration. The whole idea is we want to make our school a plastic-free school, and once we have a proof point to show in a class, and that is when we would like to share it on a city level. If a school with a dump yard in the back of it could stay a plastic-free, chips-free school, what's stopping the other school? That is the kind of point we would want to bring in. If I